Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the semester's alternative class program. You have chosen to attend the topic Heart and Soul, Getting in Touch with the Self through Basic Acrylic Painting. I am Karla Faye Abila, your host for this ACP session. Before we properly begin with this webinar, may I please remind you of the following. First, everyone is requested to be in the Zoom room until the end of activity. Proper etiquette shall be observed at all times. Remain muted for the entire talk proper or the webinar to avoid distracting the speaker or your fellow participants. Although not required, we also encourage you to open your cameras for the duration of the workshop. Finally, may we also ask you to make sure that your Zoom names are your real names for attendance checking. Now, allow me to share with you the schedule of this ACP session. Okay, so there will be two parts. The first part will be the talk proper of the resource speaker, while the second part is the open forum. So should you have any questions or comments relative to the presentation of the speaker or the topic, please post them in the Zoom chat or the Add New OSA Facebook comment section. So please don't forget to state your name, the organization or school that you represent, and your brief question or comments. Later on, during the open forum, we will address them through the speaker. So please, no unrelated and offensive posts, please. Let us all be respectful. Okay, so lastly, e-certificates will be given to those who will finish the entire talk and accomplish the evaluation form. We will provide the link for the evaluation at the end of the activity. So we hope that you will gain new and useful learning from this session. Okay, to start with, may we now invite each of us to settle down and feel the presence of the Lord through an opening prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
I beg to fall in love with thee, my Lord, with every breath of life I take. I beg to fall in love with thee, my Lord, its every beat I to thee forsake. For even if my thoughts fall short of knowing you, and even if my will runs terrified, your passion fills the darkness of my soul, sheds its light, breathes its life, stills the murmur of the night. I beg to fall in love with thee, my Lord, with every breath of life I take. I beg to fall in love with thee, my Lord, its every beat I to thee forsake. For even if my heart falls short of loving you, and even if my spirit hides away, your love for me surpasses all my fears. I do, all I do, all I am, all that I can ever be. I beg to fall in love with thee, my Lord, with every breath of life I
thank you, University Choir, for leading us in that heartwarming prayer. Right? So, to formally welcome all of us in this ACP offering, we have with us the Executive Director of the Office of Mission and Identity, Ms. Janet B. Badong Badilla.
Good day, everyone, especially to you, our dear students. Welcome to this year's Alternative Class Program activities. The ACP, as we know, is one of the structures by which we are able to concretize for you an experience of Jesuit education, where we are able to assist in your total formation as individual persons endowed with God's gifts. Through our ACP, we hope that we are able to help in the development of your imaginative, affective, and creative dimensions, especially in your life here as a student in the Ateneo de Naga. This school year, 2020-2021, as you know, has been a very challenging time for each one of us. With the COVID-19 pandemic, our life has been changed. Our way of learning and doing, our studies particularly, have been changed. Our manner of relating with others, even with our closest friends, has been changed. For many of us, these changes, even with more than a year already in the pandemic, we are still just learning the ways to cope, to adjust, and to adapt to this new world, to this new normal that we have, to this new online class that we have. As we offer this opportunity then to learn and grow through the ACP outside the regular classrooms, we express our pura personalis, our care and concern, our commitment of formation and service to you, dear students. With our theme this year, Better Normal, Activate Your Imagination, we hope to affirm the glory of God in ourselves, in oneself, which is an important dimension of pura personalis and magis, which also happens to be two of our core values in the Ateneo de Naga. Both pura personalis and magis bring us rather to an orientation toward God and others, to become one with God and with others, a oneness with humanity that brings about our gratitude, our sense of belongingness, our sense of being in a Christian family, friendship, companionship, cooperation, and service to our community. Here in Ateneo, we claim that our students learn not only to care for and respect individuals at a personal level, but also welcome opportunities that ensure growth to the fullest extent possible, a kind of growth that brings about wholeness and love, not just for oneself, but for one another. The choice to activate our imagination is up to you, dear students. On our part, we can only create and offer you opportunities. It's up to you to grab these right opportunities that we have for you in the Ateneo. As we go about this year's ACP, then I hope that we will be able to appreciate the gift or gifts of Ignatian education, of Jesuit education, to make a better normal for you in these challenging times. So again, with this ACP, welcome. Enjoy the sessions. Choose the activity where you think you can learn the most. Good day.
Thank you, Janet, for your presence and welcoming message. So many of you may have taken part in ACP activities during the old normal, while the others, especially the first year students, are attending for the first time and via this online platform. So you may ask, what is ACP all about? Why we are conducting this program even in this pandemic? So to know more about ACP, let us watch this video.
Hello Ateneans, welcome to your Alternative Class Program, or ACP. I am Jacob Andiaudal, your OPA, or Online Public Address Announcer for the ACP. Here is what you need to know about ACP. The ACP is one concrete expression of the Ignatian Formation Program and a major student activity. It is conducted every semester to provide college students with formative topics or activities outside of their regular classroom routine and daily schedule, in support of the university's uniquely Jesuit educational goals. Instead of attending their classes for the day, students choose at least one topic or activity from among the offerings during the ACP day. Carefully selected resource speakers from different fields of specialization are invited to share their knowledge, skills, and inspire students to nurture their personal development, pursue their aspirations, and partake in social advocacies or causes. You may have missed your ACP last semester, and the organizers may not be able to implement a face-to-face ACP at this time, and until the situation permits us to return to the campus and our classrooms, but OSA and its partners are confident that their experience in delivering formation programs and student services via online platforms and the support of the university community shall help in still providing a truly formative ACP experience to students in the new setting. This semester's ACP is designed to make use of available platforms like Zoom, Google Meet, and social media streaming features. Hence, health safety protocols are observed and access of students is assured. The theme #BetterNormal, Activate Your Imagination is a call for us to break from the so-called old normal and to activate our creative imagination to understand not only our personal context but also our social situations and to come up with new and better ways of living in the pandemic despite the limitations. It is a challenge to do action on how we, the Ateneans, can create a better environment for us and the larger society outside the gates of the university, or shall I say, outside our online classrooms. The Better Normal channels the Ignatian concept of magis, discerning to do the greater good in new channels and media, and by doing acts of service and love for God and for the nation. The ACP thus aims that the students are able to first, acquire knowledge and or skills that are relevant to one's interest, talent, skills, passion, advocacy. Next, relate or share the learning and insight gained from the topic or activity in conversation or dialogue and personal reflection. Next, examine the importance of one's interest, talent, skill, passion, advocacy to the development of the society, and seek ways or opportunities by which the gained or enhanced knowledge or skills can be further advanced and used for the benefit of the immediate organization or community or larger society. Listen, understand, discern, share, act. I hope that we will all take to heart our engagement in the ACP. Don't forget to learn and have fun while we experience ACP. Athenians,
All right, I hope we are all clear on why we are all here and what is ACP all about. Now, without further ado, let me introduce to you our resource speaker for this morning. Our speaker for this morning is a teacher, social entrepreneur, and an artist. She is the founder of the Ikigaii Innovation Art Hub, a social enterprise innovation art hub that promotes creativity through inclusive learning. She is a college instructor and an IGP advisor at the College of Business and Accountancy in Ateneo de Naga University. In the same university, she earned a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship and a roster of awards such as Cum Laude and Brother Serio Adriatico Fifth Pillar Award. She has been participating in prestigious national and international programs. In 2016, she was one of the Philippines Youth Ambassador of Goodwill in the 43rd SHIP for the Southeast Asian and Japanese Youth Program, where she joined cultural exchange programs, homestay programs, and institutional visits in Japan, Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, and Indonesia. In 2017, she was a Philippine delegate in the Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative held in the United States of America, where she attended leadership and impact development trainings and lectures. Currently, she is taking up her doctorate degree in business administration in Ateneo de Naga University. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Miss Leciel Ramos. Hi, ma'am. You may now open your camera po.
Hello.
Hi, ma'am. Good morning po.
Yes, good morning. Naka-open na po ang aming camera. Dito, dyan, kita niyo. Okay na? Ayan. Alright, good morning everyone. Diyos marahay na aldaw sa Indugabos. It's happy to be here. Thank you also for inviting me. Thank you for having me here and welcome to our session. Now, before we begin, may I check if the students or the participants are really here, up and ready for our ACP. So can you please at least send some emoticons, virtual emoticons in our chat box? Are they able to do that? Kaya nila? Okay, sige nga, check natin from the students. Can you at least send emoticons? Okay, hello, Kaser, Jewel, Claire, oh, ang dami. Kyla, James, Reina, Therese. All right, good morning, everyone. I won't be able to greet each and every one of you, but then welcome to our session for this morning. Okay, so let me now share my screen. By the way, thank you for the introduction. That was overwhelming. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay. Can you now view my screen? Okay na. All right. So welcome to our session on heart and soul, getting in touch with the self through basic acrylic painting. Now, this is something that this is actually a combination of reflection and at the same time some technical workshop. Okay, but then I'd like to first set some expectations or clarify some expectations as we begin. No? So from the title itself, Heart and Soul, basically our workshop for this morning invites you to have to navigate within yourself, no? To look inner, to look inside in your core, in your heart and in your soul. So basically, there are also parts when you will have your reflections in our workshop session this morning. Now, another important thing here, it says getting in touch with the self through basic acrylic painting. So if you notice, what comes first is getting in touch with the self. So it's more of introspection, but then we shall use the tool basic acrylic painting. So acrylic painting will be there, but then it's more again of getting in touch with the self. And lastly, just to clarify some expectations from the audience, as mentioned here, no, it's basic acrylic painting. If you are already an artist, joining exhibits, or you have been practicing art for quite some time, maybe you are already familiar with many of the techniques and the basics that I'll be sharing for this morning. But anyway, you can still make use of our session or our workshop to have your self-reflection. So again, it's just a basic acrylic painting, no? So a little disclaimer, kanina sa introduction, overwhelm ako dun sa artist kasi hindi ko siya na-associate sa talaga. I'm more of really an art advocate when I started Ikigaii Innovation Art Hub. But then in the entire journey, while we conduct workshops, no, it really amazed me to see talented artists, who also inspired me to try painting. No, I haven't done painting for a long time. Actually, I just started last quarantine. No, listening to what Ma'am Janet has said earlier, in during the introduction of our workshop, she said that this quarantine, no, we are confronted with different challenges. And medyo, unstable, okay lang siya. So we are confronted with different challenges, and how do we manage these challenges? So last year wasn't easy for many of us. I assume for all of us. And art helped me navigate through the uncertainty and frustrations during the quarantine. And I just started last year, no, mid last year. So, wala naman nagagawa, nandun sa bahay. So, I took a paintbrush kasi I have some materials at home because we do conduct workshops, but the workshops were facilitated by other people. So, I took a paintbrush and then I tried painting. So, again, I haven't practiced painting for a long time, but I hope that my sharings for today can help you can help and inspire you to start painting as well. So basically, most of the paintings I've done are more on women, no. So I'd like to advocate women empowerment, and at the same time to narrate the stories, different stories of women. But then do not expect that we'll be doing portraits for this morning, kasi again, we're just going to learn the basics of acrylic. Okay. So let's begin, no? From the workshop title, it's Heart and Soul, getting in touch with the self through basic acrylic painting. So getting in touch with the self invites us to ask the question, this old age question, who am I, right? And you've heard of this question several times already. And perhaps you have answered the question in many ways, and they differ in every stage of your life. But how about right now? How about at this present moment? If you will be asked, who are you? What would you answer? The question about who am I involves a lot of reflections, and at the same time, it's a lifetime journey. It's a lifetime journey because as a person, we are very dynamic. We change, we evolve, and again, there are so many changes that take place. You know. But the irony sometimes in life, especially this pandemic, I'd like to highlight this, with so many frustrations and anxiety, happening inside of us, outside of us, we are invited, to conquer ourselves, which is somewhat a paradox. I would always tell my student, isn't it ironic that man has conquered the universe, but he hasn't conquered himself? By saying conquering the universe, we have known so much about the world, about photosynthesis, studying about the galaxy and the solar system, the Pythagorean theorem, these equations that we need to use in algebra and in different fields. And yet sometimes we cannot even identify what triggers us. Sometimes it becomes so challenging that we don't know why we keep on trying. Sometimes we don't know how to control our emotions. Sometimes we don't know how to process our regrets, our guilt, our past. And that's why I'd like to embed or integrate self-reflection as we go through basic acrylic painting this morning. Because that's something I'd like to advocate, especially this time of pandemic. How do we really confront ourselves and conquer the universe within us? That's actually the most vast. There outside in the external, it's so huge, but we don't know it's bigger in our inner core. And that's something we need to discover every day. And so I'd like to share with you a poem by Lang Leave. It's entitled Self-Love. Once, when I was running from all that haunted me, to the dark I was succumbing to what hurt unbearably, searching for the one thing that would set my sad soul free. In time, I stumbled upon it, an inner calm and peace. And now I am beginning to see and to believe in who I am becoming and all I've yet to be. So as I said, self-awareness, knowing thyself is a lifetime journey. And it doesn't stop here. It continues. It continues. Right now, you feel at ease with yourself, but you are reminded that no matter how far you go, run away and escape from yourself, you will always be confronted by yourself. And you need to find that calm and peace within you. Okay. So let's try some exercise. Last time in our Google Classroom, I asked you to prepare some materials. And one of the materials I asked you to prepare is your pen. And another is your paper for some self-reflections. Let's do some grounding exercise. We call this grounding exercise. For many of you who are anxious people, I can really relate. I'm also a very anxious person. But then this grounding exercise helped me to navigate through my emotions, to help me at least calm the storm in me. So it's recommended by some people, counselors, to try this grounding exercise. So how does it go? You have to look around you and to make use of your senses to identify and to name. Okay, let's begin. So with your pen, And with your paper, let's start with the 5 things you see. Okay. So look around you. Look around you. Identify 5 things you see and name them. Name them. If there is an adjective that could best describe that, go ahead. For example, I can see a small Hello Kitty tumbler. So that's one. I can see a small wooden easel. That's another. I can see a yellow electric fan. That's another. So identify 5 things that you see around you. I hope you're participating to fully enjoy our workshop today. So kindly identify 5 things. If um if you'd like to share, maybe yeah, I'd like to encourage you guys. We have chat box here. You can share one thing that you see to other participants. Go ahead, feel free to share what you can see. Now let's proceed with the second. Okay, we have 4 things you feel. Okay. Your sense of touch. Okay. So for example, can you feel your soft skin? Is it soft really? Can you feel your silky hair or your rough hair? Can you feel your dress? Okay. Your flowing dress? Now identify 4 things you feel. You are encouraged to share in our chat box. And then let's proceed with the next 3 things that you hear. Right now, there's so much silence in this room. Right, Sir Jerry? But then I heard him laugh. So that's one. I heard Sir Jerry's laughter. And then I can hear the subtle sound of the electric fan. How about you guys? What can you hear? Can you hear your mother washing the dishes outside or there in your kitchen? Can you hear your dog? What sound? And then second and last two, so we have 2 things that you smell. So what can you smell right now? Can you smell the scent of your perfume? Can you smell right now? I can smell the paint. Okay, I can smell the paint, the strong smell of the paint. How about you? And we also have last, one thing you taste. For those of you who are at home, maybe you have just taken your breakfast. Maybe you can still taste a little of your breakfast. So what can you taste right now? Okay. So I hope you are writing down, or again, you may share in our chat box. Okay. So this grounding exercise is very important. It's very helpful. Again, I recommend this especially to people who are very anxious. If you are having panic attacks, or if you are emotional, if you are highly emotional, say for example, irritated, annoyed, angry, you want to calm yourself, pause, breathe, and do the grounding exercise. Okay. It helps, especially when you do your paintings. Later, as we proceed with the workshop proper, it is helpful that you can okay, identify what you can see, what you can feel, hear, smell, and taste. Because while you make your art, you connect. You connect yourself with the environment, and you express it, you channel it through your artwork. All right. So that's for the grounding exercise. Okay. Now, again, it's very important that we have self-awareness. It's about learning to better understand why you feel, what you feel, and why you behave in a particular way. As mentioned to you a while ago, it can be confusing, or sometimes you don't know, but you just feel like crying, you're so emotional, but then you don't know why. And self-awareness is practicing constant patience, okay, to get to know yourself. once you begin to understand this concept, you then have the opportunity and freedom to change things about yourself, enabling you to create a life that you want. So it's very important that we have self-awareness. Imagine it's learning to better understand why you feel. Why do I feel angry? Why do I feel annoyed with this person? And then also what you feel, and why you behave in that particular way. So with that, you confront yourself and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What made me feel this way? How am I going to manage myself? Okay, especially certain behaviors. All right. So welcome to those who are joining our session. I can see na mayroon pang pumapasok at na-admit. Welcome to our session. Sige. So punta na tayo sa acrylic. Kasi we're actually integrating the two, right? Getting in touch with the self and basic acrylic painting. We are trying to integrate technical and self-introspection. So let's go to the more technical part. So what is acrylic painting? Perhaps some of you are acrylic painters already, or some of you are into painting, but when it comes to painting, there's a lot. You can have watercolor painting. Some are actually doing oil painting. Some are even into coffee painting. There's a lot, no, that you can try. And these types of painting are unique. They are distinct from each other. For example, acrylic. So acrylic is actually a great medium for beginners. As mentioned, that ano guys, I just started last year. Okay, mid last year, maybe late last year, mga July part last year when I started painting. And it's helpful for beginners. It's friendly for beginners. It's relatively inexpensive. It is water soluble. It is quick drying. It is versatile. It is forgiving. If you are not happy with an area you've painted, with acrylic painting, you can paint right over it. And acrylic is a plastic polymer. Okay, is a plastic polymer. That's why, for example, for some of you who makes use of canvas, wooden canvas, no, when it dries, para talaga siyang mga plastic part, no, na ayan, matigas na siya. So plastic polymer, you can paint it on any surface as long as it doesn't mix with wax or oil. Actually, acrylic is very interesting. And right now, we will try to connect acrylic painting with the self. Okay? And you know, for several months that I've painted, hindi pa nag-iisang taon talaga, no? For several months that I've been painting, um, acrylic teach me a lot, no? And until now, it teaches me a lot about life, about myself. It's a powerful tool because self-awareness can be done in different ways, or journey towards the self can be um, can be journeyed in different ways, and one of which is through arts. So this time around, in the next slides, I'd like to share with you how acrylic painting is connected with our journey to ourselves, and what are the lessons that we can learn from acrylic painting. Okay. So acrylic and its life lessons, let's begin with the first. Acrylic is actually relatively expensive. I don't know if this one is 42 42 pesos yung itong ganito. Pero sobrang dami niya nang magagawa. Okay? It's relatively inexpensive. Okay. Kaya din, pero relatively inexpensive. Let's connect that with life. Let's connect that with our journey towards ourselves. The best things in life are free. Okay? Although there are some things in life, no, some things with um, um, value or monetary value that make us happy. But the best things in life are free. The sunset is free. Our smiles are free. A hug is free. Sleep is free. These things are actually given to us. These are given to us. They are free. But sometimes we don't get to enjoy them because we're so busy going after the expensive ones, going after those with monetary value. We're so busy earning, working. But of course, these are needed. But my point here is sometimes from our busy schedule, we can pause and just enjoy the sky. Just enjoy the things around us, the view around us. So many of the things around us, or many of the best things in life, are free. Let's proceed with the second lesson. Okay. So acrylic is water soluble. Okay. It mixes well with water, which is great. Okay. And that's still connected with ourselves and how we connect with others. Because the reality is we cannot isolate ourselves from the world. We will always be connected with the world. Okay. Let's proceed with its quick drying. That's why in acrylic, you need to paint sometimes very fast blending. Later, we will try in our workshop doing the blending. So we have to do it in a fast pace because it's quick drying. Okay. Now, in connection with life, with ourselves, life is short, right? We don't know what will happen. Life is very uncertain. Life is short to let yourself be consumed by regrets, guilt, and self hate. Allow it to flow, acknowledge it, but then eventually channel it with different activities, and art is very helpful. Okay. Lesson number 4, art is forgiving. As mentioned a while ago in the introduction on acrylic, it's made of plastic, which makes it very easy to play around. Okay. Wherein if there's, for example, error in your painting, you can just cover up it with another paint or mix it with another color, mix it with another paint so that you can uh, you can make it better, or shall I say para madiskartehan yung mga mali. Yeah. So it's very forgiving, and it teaches us to be gentle and compassionate to ourselves. There were some paintings I've done na I really felt bad. I don't know. Parang when I was painting, parang, pangit nito, pangit nito. Or sometimes when I try to paint, at first it doesn't really look good. But it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. Being gentle and compassionate to yourself, being gentle and compassionate with the process of painting. You wouldn't see the entirety of the picture at the beginning. You have to do the process, embrace the process, and trust the process until eventually you see, oh, it looks good pala. Or you can, again, pwede pang maayos. Yung mga para sa iyo, you're not satisfied. Next, it's very versatile. It's very versatile. Just for example, with ourselves, our soul is resilient. Versatile yung acrylic, it's flexible. Again, You can paint your ceramics, you can paint your pot, you can paint your dress, you can paint your table, your wall. It's very versatile, it's very flexible. And similarly, just like our souls is very resilient, diba? So minsan akala natin hindi natin kaya yung mga pinagdadaanan, pero kaya naman pala. Okay. Next, tapos na ba? All right. So those are the 5 things or 5 life lessons from acrylic. Now we will proceed with the things to prepare. Ito na siya. So pwede na tayo simula sa ating things to prepare. I hope you already have there the materials I asked you to bring. But this time, we're gonna check them. Okay, let's begin with the first. So acrylic paint. So acrylic paint, there's a lot of acrylic paint. And don't get overwhelmed with so many paints. Okay. Don't be seduced when you're in an art shop and then you wanted to try all this. No, oh, this is yellow ochre. I'd like to try this chestnut brown. I'd like to try this, etc. No, ang daming mga colors. Pero actually, you can just start with the basics. Start with the essentials. Start with the primary colors. Because as you go along, as you journey towards your painting, you can learn how to mix and blend colors. So that's the first. I hope you have your acrylic paint. Maybe I can show you some examples. For those of you who are price conscious, again, I use this one. No, this goes well in dress. I also make use of this in canvas. It's tulko, but it's, yeah, this marami din. It has different varieties, the brand has different varieties and colors. There are acrylics in small jars, bigger jars, and there are also acrylics in tubes like this one. Okay, if you going to ask me about the brand, okay, you're going to ask me about brands. The first that I've tried when I didn't know how to paint yet, I just bought Pibeo. Okay, Pibeo. So hanggang ngayon, nandito pa rin siya. Okay. And then another is, yeah, so we have Pibeo. There's also Reeves. Okay, these are good brands. But again, if you'd like to try, I don't know, again, di pa ako ganun katagal nagpipaint. Pero these are good brands, okay, with very good quality too. Next, let's proceed with the brushes or the paint brushes. You don't need handfuls of brushes in different sizes and shapes. Although, I'll admit to you, no, I have several because when I buy paints, when I buy brushes, sometimes they come in set. Okay, nakaset siya. Katulad nito, nakaset siya. So, madami siya. But then again, you can just make use of the most important. Plus, you also befriend your brush. Meron magiging favorite brush eventually. You don't need a lot. Okay, I'll just share with you some of the most important brushes. Or some types of brushes. So this one, guys, you see in your screen, okay, this is the fan brush. Okay, fan. And then, actually, yung pinaka-useful para sa akin, yung round brush. For me, very useful yung round brush. It, parang sa lahat ng pagpipaint, nagagamit talaga siya. Okay. In blending, in mixing colors, in portraits, in landscape. Okay. Kung mas maliit siya, good for details. And even yung mga bigger na mga images or drawings in your painting, can make use of the round brush. There's also the bright, this one, okay, parang pag ganyan siya, ito, ganyan, bright. Okay. And then we also have the flat brush, okay, from the word itself, flat. It goes well kapag nag-blending. And then we also have the angular brush, this one. Napansin nyo guys the difference? This one, the flat brush, ganito talaga siya. Yung angular, may paslanting siya kasi minsan gusto natin yung effect, di ba? Gusto natin, halimbawa, gagawa kayo ng mountain or gagawa kayo ng other landscapes or other images. So, or okay yung may angular. But again, meron din pala mga small brushes like this one, mga maliliit for details. Hindi pa ako ganun katagal na gumagamit nito. Actually, yung mga una kong mga paintings, kasi hindi naman nakakalabas, di ba? I started during quarantine. So, hindi rin ako nakakahanap ng mga brushes. Pero, eventually, nakahanap ako nung pang-detail. So, nakuha ako ito. Sa Shopee lang, tsaka sa Lazada. So, minsan, maganda siya, lalo na halimbawa, details, the face, gagawa nung eyes, maglalagay ng mga eyelashes, ganda yung mga fur detailing. So second is the brushes. I hope you already have there your brushes. Next is your palette knife. So we have here some palette knives. Ito pa pala, may big brush pa. If you're working on a big canvas, I bought this one when I had to work for painting in a big canvas. Kesa konti-konti, at least maramihan to, di ba? Sahan lang, ganyan-ganyan. And then we also have palette knives. It can be used to mix colors. For example, kukuha ka minsan ng color, tapos imimix siya. Imimix siya. So it's very helpful. And also to scrape paint off. And sometimes it's also good for designing. No? Sometimes some artists make use of their palette knives to create their paintings instead of brushes. And then we also have, this one is a technique. Ito po, parang second painting ko ata to when I was starting to paint last year. This was my second painting and I made use of a palette knife. Okay. So some kasi would want to have that texture. When we say texture in a painting, minsan, di ba, may bako-bako, mas gusto yun ng iba, may ibang collectors ng gano'n. Yung iba, gusto nilang gano'n na effect. So, trinay ko lang siya, no, during my early, months. So, yan yung effect niya. Pero, hindi siya gano'n ka, again, iba-iba naman kasi tayo ng style and di ba, ng style. And then, we also have your paint palette. Your paint palette is very important for your paint palette is very important, but since acrylic paint dry very fast, you need a moisture retaining palette. So moisture retaining palette, pwede yung mga plastic, pero actually mas better nga yung katulad nito, yung gumagamit ng yung parang sa plato, ceramics ba yun? Pero since ito yung available sa akin, I have my wooden palette and the plastic palette. Okay. Pwede rin yung mga cover ng Tupperwares ninyo sa bahay. Pwede siya. Next is your painting canvas. So I'll share with you, this one is a painting canvas. Okay. So yung iba, meron na siyang primer. Ibig sabihin, meron na napatungan na siya ng puti, okay na siya, good to be used na siya. Yung iba naman, flat, parang yung board lang. Others, like this one, it will really help you to save time if it's already a stretch canvas. Ibig sabihin na naka-frame na siya. Kasi ready to hang na siya. Okay, so ready to hang na siya. Others use paper and then they frame it. In terms of the paper, hindi ako masyado sa paper, pero I tried watercolor papers. Okay? So yung watercolor paper, so far okay naman din yung watercolor papers. Okay naman siya. Although, when you paint here, sometimes nga, iba syempre yung pag-absorb ng water. Okay? When we use the paper. Pero yung iba magagaling na, pare-parehas tayo. I mean, also learning. And then we also have here the rag. So rag is very important in the process for whitening and then excess paint. And then we also have here the masking tape. I saw it, this one. So masking tape is for you to place it around your painting, your paper, para meron na siyang outline. For example, this one, diba? So meron siyang masking tape dito para tatanggalin na lang yung tape, meron na siyang outline. Okay. And then we have, of course, water container, this one. Don't get confused with your water for painting and your tumbler for drinking. Okay, so for water container, for washing and rinsing. And then we also have the easel. So I brought here a small easel for sake na baka later mag-live demo tayo. Pero tingnan natin kung kaya ng oras. So we have here easel. Yan. So may mga malalaking easel din. So yung iba, nako-collapse naman siya, portable, pwedeng madala somewhere else. If you want to paint sa CWC, somewhere in the park. Okay. And then we also have the apron. Wow, Char, may pa-apron. Hindi ako gumagamit ng apron, but then I realized na many of my shirts at home may mga paint na siya. Although, okay lang din naman para sa akin. Pero minsan, if you are very, syempre, maselan kayo sa damit, better you use painting. Kasi minsan di siya naiiwasan eh. Okay. And then we also have, yan, so getting started na tayo. I hope you're ready with all the things that I asked you to prepare. So let's start now. Okay. To begin, let's set a disposition. Okay. So set a disposition with the grounding exercise a while ago that we had. How you are right now, you set your disposition, you prepare, you ask yourself, what do I want to paint? Right? What do I feel like making today? Kasi it differs naman. Sometimes people would like to paint landscape. Sometimes they like to paint portraits. Sometimes more on details, a flower, etc. So what do you want to paint today? Second is you prepare the materials. So I hope the materials are ready now. You have now, of course, the most important, kahit wala kang easel, okay lang yan, kahit walang palette knife, as long as you have the paint and the paintbrush and the paper. Yun naman talaga yung pinaka-importante. Okay. And then, place the masking tape around. All right, let's do that together. Okay. Sir is going to help me. Can you help me, sir, here? So we are going to, pwede, yan. So you can place your masking tape around. I hope you can see na there's also another video there na nagpapakita. Ayan. So you can put masking tape around. Punitin ko na lang yung mga OC dyan. Pwede nyo i-scissors. Pwede rin ganyan na lang. And then, so you just put around the masking tape. And then, so sa lahat. Okay. Minsan po guys, nakakapunit siya ng papel. So sometimes, inaano ko muna siya, inaalis ko yung ibang pagka-adhesive niya. Tinatanggal-tanggal ko siya. Alright. And then mix colors. So we're now moving on to the mixture of colors. Okay. Ate MJ, is it possible that while I present, that while we have the ongoing session, can you play the music yung kay Justin? If it's possible.
Yes po, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So we now mix colors. Okay, so let's check muna first. So dito tayo sa mixing colors. What do we need to mix? Of course, I hope you're familiar with the primary colors. So the primary colors are blue, red, and we have the yellow. Okay, tandaan nyo lang, watawat, that is our primary colors. Right? Now, let's proceed. If we combine them, what do we get? We get the secondary colors. So, let's try. So, gawin na talaga natin. Mag-mix tayo ngayon. Scratch muna. Okay lang ba? Scratch muna tayo. Okay. So we can try mixing, okay, the primary colors and what we can get from mixing the primary colors. Okay. We can start, for example, with the, okay, what happens if you mix red and yellow? Sabi niyo, ma'am, basic naman yan, pang elementary. Okay lang yun, guys. Pang part-part naman yan. Para magagamit din natin tong paint later eh. Okay. So we have here red. And then, or we can just try one combination. And then yellow. So what do you get when you mix them? Okay, so what do you get? So you can get an orangey. Pwede ba natin mas i-close up, sir? Okay. So medyo orange na siya, right? Yan. And then it depends on you kung gusto niyo pang dagdagan para mas ano siya. Ayan. Right? Lang, dami ko na nalagay. Yan. And then you can use white na lang. Okay, sometimes for, okay, this is for pangdagdag lang kung halimbawa you want lighter. Okay. Alright. Thank you, Sir Jeril, for assisting. So we're not going over each of the secondary colors. Okay? Sige, later na po yan. So balikan na natin yung... So we can go back to the presentation. Okay. So nakikita pa ba ang aking presentation? Or should I present again? Share screen. So share screen ulit natin. So balikan natin yung presentation, no? So what can we get or what do we get? What do we get? Ayan, so dito na tayo sa secondary. Nakikita na ba? Okay na, nakikita na. Or sa akin, medyo nag-freeze siya. Okay. So we have here, if we mix the red and the yellow, we can get an orange. So what do you get if you mix, a yellow and a blue? So you can get, parang mga bata, you can get a green. And then if you mix red and blue, you can get a violet. Then again, you can just place some color white or other color white to lighten. Tapos may tips tayo mamaya if you want to darken. So that's for the secondary. Now, don't use black to darken colors. So for example, this one, if you want a darker yellow, don't add black here. Masisira yan, guys. Instead, kasi 'di ba, ang principle natin, if we want to make it lighter, we add white. Yes, tama, we add white. But it doesn't necessarily mean to say that if we want to have it darker, we add black. Hindi po. Instead, we add shade or dark blue or green. So, pwede na siya maging ganito. Very little of dark blue and very little of green. Okay. Then, you can make a brown by mixing the primary colors. If you mix the three colors, that one, yellow, green, and blue, it will create a brown. And then you can create other colors or skin tone by just adding white. Okay. So, tansyahin nyo kung gaano ka-dark yung brown. Then you will play around with adding blue or red or yellow, kung ano yung gusto nyo dito ma-achieve. And then afterwards, you can add white, saka siya, and then lighten kung if you want to lighten. Okay. Then, you can create a family of colors. Okay. So, if you want to have portraits or to create portraits, you can also add a little blue, katulad kanina. no, sabi ko nga, blue and green is very helpful. A touch of green and blue dun sa mga ginawa or na-mix yung colors can help you blend and make good skin tones. Okay. So let's proceed with the techniques. Okay, mag-techniques na naman tayo. So here in the techniques, what do we do dito sa techniques? We can try some. Okay. So let's begin with dry brush. Okay. In your dry brush, what do you do from the word itself? It's dry. So basically, okay, you just get the paint and then gaganyan mo siya. So dry siya, 'di ba? May mga part na para siyang staggered na parang ano. But for others, effect nila 'yan. They wanted to have this kind of effect. Okay. And then we will try, I hope you're trying at home. We will now try with the washing. This one, the washing. Okay. We have, of course, the water. Pero wag naman sobrang dami. Then, medyo basa na siya, right? And then, we add water. So, we're now creating, so washing. Okay. Nilalagyan natin. So, mas pulido siya, di ba? Okay. And then, we can try stippling. For those of you, minsan, yung mga, di ba minsan may mga pang makeup brushes and then some would like to make use of that for designing, you may, yung stippling, it's more of the small dot it creates. Okay, ganito. Mazo-zoom pa po. Okay. Although you can check dito naman sa picture sa PowerPoint, makikita nyo naman. Sige. And then we also have, let's try splattering. Ito, parang yung iba parang ayaw nila ng splattering kasi. Try natin yung isa, no? Hindi ko na siguro itatry yung sobrang dami para makaproceed tayo. So yung isa, kukuha ng paint and then we, ano lang siya, splatter mo, igaganyan. Yung iba naman ang ginagawa is, halimbawa, meron ditong kaunti. Tapos, ginaganyan nila, mako-close up ba, sir? Yan, gaganyan nila. Yun. Ayan, char. So, pang manicure nyo na yan, diretso. So, that's splattering. You can try it also at home while watching. And then, let's try the dabbing. Ito, wala tayong sponge, pero it can be used for texture also. Gusto to ng iba kasi pang design, for texture. And then, we have the palette knife. Depende kasi siya, pero ako hindi naman. Yung iba ginaganyan-ganyan siya, oh. Okay. So, gusto nila yung texture, tapos you will just overlap it. Okay. Minsan, ginaganon-ganon na lang nila. Sometimes, yung iba in their canvas, yun yung pinapang-mix nila instead of the brushes. Okay. Again, it depends on your style, no, where you feel comfortable. When I started to paint last July, wala naman. It's just trying and experimenting. Try to experiment. Okay, and be confident about your experiments. Thank you, Sir Jerry, later Elette. Okay. So you will now create your own. Okay, you will now create your own. But since this is just a basic acrylic painting, we will try more simple okay. We will now try just simple paintings. Okay. But of course, I'd like you to be aware of, ayusin natin para makabuelo tayo. Okay. So, it's important that you become aware of what you want to paint. Okay. What you feel connected with. Are you feeling connected with the sun today, with the sky, with how do you feel right now? And then maybe we can start with, wait lang. Ayan. So, which color are you today? So, which color are you today? Are you a vibrant color? Or are you feeling dull and dry? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling light and you're a pastel color today? So, which color are you today, right now? Let's start with that. So, which color are you today? Okay. And then, so ayusin lang natin para sa next. Okay. I'd like you to see some samples here. So I prepared some paintings. These are just simple, no? Just blend colors and then after blending, you can just create some images para mga shadows lang. Ayan. So these are simple paintings. You can try this later. Yan. Ito try natin ngayon. Okay. Very simple lang. Very simple lang ito, no? Kasi basic lang tayo. Ate MJ, can we now play the video on this one? So prepare your things, put masking tape around your paper, and now let's watch this short video. Ate MJ, pwedeng paulit, tsaka paanohan ng sounds. Pahina ata para sobrang lakas. Ay, thank you, Ate MJ. Now, right now, siguro sa bahay ninyo, you can try, depende kung anong klaseng color you feel more connected with. For example, you want pastel, this is blue and this is green. So the combination here, blue, green, and white. Okay. And then, napakita naman dun, no? Kasi ito yung challenge natin with a virtual workshop since limited. So, base na lang tayo doon sa what do you call this, sa video, no? In blending your colors, if you're trying at home right now, ngayon, nagtatry kayo dyan. So, when you blend the colors, continue blending lang until you achieve the desired. Okay? For others, what they do is they try to, okay, pakita nga natin, sir. Okay. So yung iba po, ang ginagawa po nila is, so for example, this one is pink. Okay. So you can create a pink by combining red and then white. So you can, nag-dry na siya sa aircon joke. Tapos yung iba, ang ginagawa nila sa canvas, nilalagay na nila yung color. Okay. They put the color there. Tapos eventually, saka sila nagbe-blend. Okay. Yan. Then, pataas. Depende po. Ayan. So, play with colors. Play where you feel more connected with. There are so many things, so many ways of doing painting naman. Although in YouTube, you can see there mga do's and don'ts. Pero nagkakaiba talaga sa mga techniques. Okay. So, just continue mixing and mixing. So, nakikita natin dito the shift or the transition, right? So, may transition siya and then it's up to you na lang if, for example, mag-add ka ng konting puti para lighter dito. Okay. So, if you see or if you notice, okay, so mas na be-blend na yung colors. Okay. So, try it din po now. Okay. So, pakita natin dito. So, try it. So, there's now a transition, no? Para hindi siya flat. When we say flat, yung parang, yun lang, naglagay ka lang ng isang color. Eh, hindi naman flat talaga siya, di ba? When you make, or when you color the sky, hindi naman talaga siya flat lang. So, it's good that we can mix and blend colors. So, there are also other colors that go well together. Para mahabol pa natin, can we now play, Ate MJ, the video on the sunset painting? Prepare pink. So how do you make pink or fluorescent pink? Red and then a little white. Okay. And then, so stop sharing ko na. Papaready na. Ay, hindi yan ate yung isa, yung pink na sunset. Sunset ba yan? Okay na. Yung color pink po. Yung purple and pink, yan. So there, guys, what you can see right now is it started color yellow at the middle part, tapos sa lower part. Pero hindi niya sinagad dun sa lower part because sa lower part, dun yung fluorescent pink. So how do you make that fluorescent pink? It's red and then a little white. Tansyahin nyo na lang kung gaano nyo gusto ka fluorescent siya. And then if you don't have the turquoise color, purple na lang po. So purple, later you prepare red, blue, and then a little white. So notice you just keep on blending and blending. There at the lower part, makikita natin na sa may yellow, merong sumasaging pink, 'di ba? That's why you have to hold your brush very subtle para merong konting saging ng pink dun sa yellow. Yan, 'di ba? Very subtle lang. Subtle lang siya. Just to have an effect. Okay, just to achieve the effect. And then again, if you don't have that turquoise color, you can mix your own purple. Okay. How do you make a purple? Blue and red, and then add some white. If you know the primary colors and how to create secondary colors, the rest will be easy for you. So it started with a purple color at the upper part, and then naglagay na siya ng konting fluorescent pink. So mix, blend, and blend, continue blending. Keep blending. Keep blending, keep blending. All right. So we will fast forward a little. Okay, dyan sa may details. All right. Sige, stop na po dyan. Okay na dyan. So you see guys na papunta dyan sa may baba sa may yellow. Minimix up niya na ulit yung yellow at saka yung fluorescent pink going upwards naman. Okay. And then, may purple ka ulit. Then, mix it up again. So more importantly, I hope that this morning, talagang ma-practice ninyo yung blending ninyo. Don't worry, you cannot perfect naman talaga in one sitting. So you have to keep on practicing. Okay. So blend again, play around with the 3 colors. Sige. So, doon na tayo sa may details, ate. Sige, sa unahan pa. Yan, kasi mahaba yung blending. Okay na dyan. Alright. So, ayan. Create na tayo ng konting details. And then reflection. Diyan po, medyo watery part yung color block nyo. Lagyan nyo ng tubig para yung effect niya naglulusen yung paint sa water. Parang nagsistain ka lang. We call that the staining. Then you make a boat. It depends on you kung ano yung style ng boat nyo. And you carefully remove the masking tape. Again, very important that you remove carefully the masking tape. Hey guys, kayang-kaya nyo yan. Sobra, kayang-kaya nyo yan. You can just play around with the colors. Again, when you do the blending, try to move your hands fast para talaga ma-blend yung mga colors. Okay? So baka maanuhan na, maubusan tayo ng time kasi meron pang Q&A. Proceed ko na lang dito. Nakikita na ulit yung PowerPoint. Okay na. Okay. So we tried some, okay, or maybe you tried some paintings at home or blending at home. Okay. This one is orange and yellow. Okay. So it's darker here above and then combine it with yellow. Okay. Tapos blend it again and have the subtle effect kahit yung tip ng brush lang. Isagi para may yellow part. Okay. Halo ng konting deep yellow and orange, then dip it. Subtly blend it. Okay. Mix the colors, blend. And then, yan. So mag-draw na lang kayo ng mga silhouettes. Pwede kayong mag-draw ng cat na nakaupo, ng swing. Pwede kayong mag-draw ng marami flowers, pero more on mga silhouette lang. Kung may cotton buds naman kayo, there are also techniques that you can use with that. So ito yung ginawa natin. And then this one for the cotton buds. So if you see guys, these are just basic blending. Nag-blend lang siya ng red. Maglagay kayo dito maglagay kayo dito. Nakikita naman yung mouse ko. Maglagay kayo dito ng red sa inyong paper or canvas and then white. Then blend it, blend it, blend it, blend. Pag na-blend na ninyo, ayun, di ba? Yung cotton buds lang, make it colorful. This one, yellow and white. Blue and white, green and white. I prepared another short video on this, although parang hindi nakakasya yung time natin. Pero ito, if just so that, pwedeng kahit yung pag-blend lang, Ate MJ, pakita natin yung pag-blend. It's the yellow acrylic. The video is entitled Yellow Acrylic. Ito naman na yung last part eh. So you just blend green and then yellow. Sorry, pag-record ko niyan, maingay yung aso namin. Kaya yung aso yan. So, just use white. Ayan. So, kinover ko lang siya ng white. Then you can proceed with the details. Okay, so tignan natin yung sustaining sa water. Alright, sige, dyan. So, dyan you can just stain the paper with black and then brown and then add some blue and then green. Maybe we can forward pa. Okay, yun. Sige. Okay. Okay na yan, Ate MJ. Thank you. I just want to show them the process. Okay. Again, just mix and blend. The more important thing naman is that you can blend the colors. You can blend the colors once you learn how to blend the colors, it would be easy for you to just add some designs. Okay. So, yung medyo minadali ko lang yan. May mga hindi nga dyan maayos, di ba? Yung mga artist na halata nyo talaga. Pero kayang-kaya nyo yan ayusin. Pwede nyo, you can make better than this one. Okay. So, you can also place some masking tapes. Okay, and then, yan. So, punta na tayo sa reflection part. So, dito pala sa masking tapes, just put masking tapes around whatever designs or patterns you'd like to create, and then blend colors. Ate MJ, can you play the song while I proceed with the reflection part, the summary part? Kay Justin ulit, kay Justin. Okay. So for the reflection right now, again, as mentioned to you, it's more about going back to the self, getting in touch with the self. For this morning, you are invited to make use of painting. Although hindi na tayo masyadong nag-move into the technicals kasi ito na yung pinaka-summary din. Yan. So pinaka-summary na siya. Pero I hope that you learned about the blending. Okay. So mapi-play pa po ba yung song ni Justin during itong final part? Sige. So what does your painting tell you right now, or even when you paint or at home when you do your painting, it's always good that you go back to yourself and ask, what does your painting tell you? What emotions were evoked while you were creating? Sometimes nakakalabas din siya ng stress, nakakatuwa na minsan nakakagaan, and it also calms a person. It calms a person, or painting helps calm a person. And how do you feel about yourself? Afterwards, look at your painting. Sometimes when I was doing this painting, I was just I was anxious. Pero this is the image I wanted to portray or to create rather. So I envisioned myself to be calm. So while I was doing it, that's why it's anxious, may dark parts dyan, but it's also sleeping and feeling relaxed. Okay, and feeling relaxed. So may mga ganun din na kwento sa mga paintings natin or sa artworks ninyo. Final note, do not desire for perfection. Let your heart and soul guide you as you express your core. Allow your colors, your strokes, and your shapes narrate how you feel as a person. So do not desire for perfection. Remember that at the end, acrylic teaches us that you are your own masterpiece. Self healing, self forgiveness, self peace, and self love are your best artworks. So that would be all. I'd like to give credits. Some photos were taken from Pinterest and raw pixel. So have a happy heart and soul. I hope you learned something today. And thank you for joining. Sige, sino na? The floor is yours na, Miss Karla.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much po. At gusto ko din i-share, ma'am, habang nagtotoo kanina. I got my, my paintings, my acrylic paints. Then, yan, I personally want to share before po mag-open tayo ng open forum na, I learned a lot. The talk is very insightful po. And, yan, sana ma-apply ko din mamaya after ng ACP session yung mga tutunan ko dito sa inyo. Yan, thank you so much. So, ayan.
To share your painting, makagawa ka ba, Karla?
Hindi po ako nakagawa ngayon, pero may mga dati na akong tinatry. Tapos yung ngayon po, parang super focused ka muna sa pag-blend. Tapos kanina, super dami ko na to. Ito po yung mga dati kong binablend-blend lang muna. Kung hindi mo siya nakikita.
Oo, medyo nakikita ko yung
Hindi
purple
nakikita.
Oh,
Yan,
yes.
dami-dami po.
That's nice.
Tapos yun, ma'am. Thank you so much po. Yan,
Thank you din, Karla.
Yan. Okay, now we will now open the floor for comments and questions for our speaker. So guys, if you have any, we encourage you to share your thoughts, which can be in forms of questions, sharing of insights, or realization. So to facilitate our open forum, kindly click the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called before unmuting to speak. Or you may also use the chat box to send your question, and I will read them for you so that our speaker can address it. So, ayan.
Huwag kayong ma-shy. If you have some insights, it's good that you can share.
Meron po dito, ma'am, isa po kanina from our facilitator din po. Wait lang po,
Alright,
hanapin ko lang.
sige. Sure.
Ito po, from Kian po. Wait lang po, ma'am. Ito po. Nag-load pa. About po siya sa kasi daw kanina po, na-mention niya daw po na pwede daw pong ma-incorporate ang painting sa women empowerment. For you daw po, ma'am, ano daw po ang symbol niyo for women empowerment?
Symbol ko as a person.
Or kahit po sa pag-paint niyo siguro.
Okay. Sige, actually I if you can visit my I have posted there women and flowers. Most of my artworks, if I may share my screen again, no. So most of the artworks that I made, napansin ko lang din, or even during the process of making it, I see that I resonate a lot with flowers. It's not just about the beauty, it's also the process of growing, how it is. The colors, they vary, but it's just beautiful in their own way. Now, I'd like to advocate that because just like us women, we are beautiful in all size, shapes, forms, in whatever way we are. And that's something we need to learn to embrace the beauty within us. Medyo nasa unahan yun, no? Nasa unahan pala yun. Sige, so yun lang. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you, ma'am. So, others po, if you, ay, ito po. We have a question from Peralta. Okay. Yes. Ito po. Knowing po na mabilis ma-dry ang acrylic, ano po yung ways or advice niyo po on how to clean brushes na may natuyong paints? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, oo. I wasn't able to share that a while ago. Pero first pala, I forgot to share. It can also help if you're going to spray some water on your palette. So, meron pagbalik, sana hindi siya nag-dry. Ngayon, for the brushes naman, inad ko lang yun. For the brushes naman po, a very good way of doing that, very basic, is cleaning it with water and also using soap. Okay, so using soap. Pero, ang technique kasi dyan, pwede siyang ibabad ng matagal, tapos saka balikan. 3 to 4 hours. At pagbalik mo ng 3 to 4 hours, yung iba na babalik na siya sa pagkaano niya. Kasi 'di ba minsan katulad meron ako ditong ito hindi to maayos, 'di ba? So pwede tong water tapos soap, no? Yung soap na body soap pwede siya. Tapos and then afterwards hayaan muna yung doon kasi yung may konting moisture doon sa soap, yung oil niya, then stay mo and then afterwards balikan. Yun. Mga 3 to 4 hours para mas maganda. Did I answer the question? Ayan.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you po. May message po dito, ma'am, for you. Let me read it for you po. Yan, from Catherine Sheena M. Pasinis. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your knowledge. What can you advise po in terms of the creative process to begin with to those who are not artists na gusto daw pong mag-try ng pag-paint?
Okay. So, katulad ng sinasabi ko kanina, no, hindi pa talaga ako ganun katagal. Pero ang nangyari kasi sa akin, it's more of outlet, channeling myself, no, channeling myself. If it's difficult for you, no, I recommend best talaga, the first thing you have to do is to set a disposition. Sometimes it takes a lot of time just sitting down. What do I really want to do? 'Di ba? Nandun yung na gusto kong gumawa, pero what will I do? 'Di ba? It's like the process of self, no? Sometimes we feel something but we cannot identify that and it takes time. So you have to be patient with yourself. Just sit down and then try to connect with yourself. Sometimes, yun nga, I feel anxious. Sometimes, ganun yung nagagawa kong artwork. And it really helps for me to immerse myself with different images. Okay. So, the ones that you see here in my screen, visible pa ba? Yung slide ko. So, the ones, this was my first painting. That time po, I was inspired, no? By Filipino women. No, I was just inspired by diverse women. And so I look at different images of women. So maganda rin sometimes that we immerse ourselves with different platforms na merong mai-inspire tayo. Then I started joining mga groups. Actually, I started joining groups kahit di pa talaga ako, wala pa, di pa ako, So ito palang nagagawa ko noon. After noon, sabi ko, sige, sali ako sa mga groups, yung mga Filipino sculptors and painters. So I joined there, mga FB groups. Then nakikita ko yung mga exhibits, gusto ko din dyan mag-submit. So I started doing it. No? Nakikita ko yung other works of the participants. It's so inspiring. You can get a lot of inspiration from other artists. So maganda yun. You're not going to copy. So, wala ako ditong kinapi na nanditong painting. Sometimes, I just look at different, halimbawa, ito pong ginawa kong 4 dito. that's from different inspiration. Yung isa nakita ko, ito parang sabi ko, ay, ang cute ni Catriona dun sa niya. Pero hindi ako realistic yung mga paintings. May nakita din akong isa, yung kabatch ko sa isang program, gandang-ganda ako sa kanya. Pero sabi ko, hindi ko man siya magaya, I'd like to put them all in one. So, looking at pictures, visiting platforms, joining groups, and yan, can really help sa creative process to nurture your creative juices. Yan. Ayun. Did I
Yan.
answer the question?
Thank you po, ma'am. And thank you din po sa nag-ask ng question. We will take note po of everything na pag-advise niyo po sa amin when it comes to painting. And I hope na hindi lang ako, kundi lahat na nandito sa workshop, we can apply everything that we have learned today. So, ayan, kung ito po, may another, pa po, from Miss Roy Gabriel. So, ma'am, sabi niya po, I do digital art and mostly love doing linear more than blending colors. But painting like this is kind of nice din po, even if I'm not good. It's kind of cathartic. Just randomly putting colors you feel like putting and painting something only your mind knows. Thank you po. Ayan, small message.
Yes, ang ganda ng niya. Yes, actually, hindi rin talaga ako painter. I'm more of Zentangle art, yung mga patterns. Before yung mga ACP ko ang kinakonduct, yung mga black and white as mga patterns. Pero again, iba rin yung may colors, no? Iba rin. So, paminsan-minsan, you can do different. You can be a very flexible artist naman. So, if you do line art, yung nag-share, may digital art ka, no, and then you can also paint, maganda rin yon. Actually, they're all related naman in one way or another.
Thank you, ma'am. So as much as we want to accommodate all of your questions, we have now to end the program. So before that, I hope that we all have learned something from this ACP topic and have been inspired or challenged to use our talents and skills and get involved in programs and advocacies that would impact on people empowerment and of course social development. So to show our gratitude for Ma'am Mundi Ramos for her time and effort, we now present this certificate of appreciation with the citation. The Office of Student Affairs at Ateneo de Naga University presents this certificate of appreciation to Leciel Ramos in grateful recognition of her expertise and service as resource speaker in the alternative class program, Hearts and Soul, Getting in Touch with the Self, through basic acrylic painting workshop held on May 7, 2021. Given the 7th of May, 2021 at the Ateneo de Naga University, City of Naga, Philippines. Signed by Mr. Rodolfo S.B. Virtus Jr., Director of Student Affairs, Ms. Janet D. Badong Badilla, Executive Director for Mission and Identity, Dr. Alfredo C. Fabay, Vice President for Higher Education, and Father Roberto Ezequiel and Rivera of the Society of Jesus University President. Again, we thank Ma'am Mundi. This ACP session will not be possible without your presence. So once again, let us all give a warm round of applause to Ma'am Mundi.
Thank you. Thank you, Karla and team. Also team and Karla sa lahat ng nandito and also for those who watch.
Yeah. Thank you po, ma'am. All right, so reminders lang po for the participants that please fill out the evaluation forms that we will post in the Google Classroom, and the certificate of attendance shall only be awarded to those who accomplish the evaluation form. So make sure that you input the correct spelling of your names on the evaluation forms, or your certificate's name shall be misspelled. So I hope that you enjoyed this workshop and actually gained insights and new learning from it. So that's it. This ends our workshop on Hearts and Soul, getting in touch with the self through basic acrylic painting. Thank you for being with us in this ACP program. God bless and stay safe. Bye.
Thank you so much, team. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so
Miss
much.
Moni.
Thank you din sa inyo lahat.
Thank you, ma'am.
Karla, ang ganda ng blending mo. I saw it, Karla.
Nag-start pa lang din ako, ma'am. Wait lang po, itanggalin ko to
Talaga?
girlfriend. Nag-start lang din po ako ngayong parang
Quarantine.
quarantine din po. Tapos, nakita ko po kasi yung kapatid ko, magaling na siya mag-paint. Nainggit ako, sabi ko, gusto ko din. Tapos yun. Ma'am, by the way, member po pala kayo ng nung YSELI? YSELI po ba yung
YSELI? Oo.
Yan,
nag-join
YSELI.
ka doon.
Kilala niyo po ba si Opo, member po ako ngayon. Si Kuya
Ay, wow.
Ian. Kilala niyo po ba si Kuya Ian?
Sa Tagaligaw?
Libon po.
Libon.
Opo.
Oo. Sir, ano apelido niya? Sir, nahihirapan ako mag-pronounce ng ano niya. Sir.
Sario.
Oh,
Siciliano yan. Si Kuya Ian.
Nakasama ko ba siya? Ahead ako sa kanya in terms of age. Pero, nag-join ata siya academic fellows, if I'm not mistaken. Mag-join ka din sa mga ano. Ano yung na-joinan mo sa YC?
Wala pa po sana kasi biglang nag-COVID. Pero ayun, maganda po yung marami po sa akin dumating na emails. Parang invitation sa mga programs.
Actually, kahit mga online, minsan pag walang ginagawa, magandang nag-a-attend. Kahit yung mga online lang. May workshops din sila eh.
Thank you po,
Uy,
ma'am.
good luck. Good luck. Thank you, team, ha? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Baka magla-lunch na sila. Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Bye, ma'am. Hi, sir.
Yay! See you later.
Thank you, ma'am.
Salamat.
Bye
MJ.
po.
Thank you, MJ.
Thank you po.
Thank you, MJ. Bye po.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Kim.